Hey there, and welcome to Hot Seat. And we are here to explore the reasons of why. What's the why? What's the purpose? What drives business owners to do what they do? If it's what you're looking for, to get motivated, well, we look forward to sharing this episode with you. I'm your host, Kelvin Holiday, and I am enjoying the fact that we can explore people's why and motivate others. So stay tuned for this exciting new episode. 15 minutes, fast paced. Let's do it. Well, folks, welcome back. Here we are, another episode with an absolute gem of a bloke. All right, this is a guy I've known for many years. Andy Prosser, Executive Technologist, an absolute guru when it comes to Microsoft 365. So, Andy, come on into the hot seat, mate, and let's get this happening.
Well, thanks for the intro. So hopefully this video is going to come up. It's decided
It'll come up very soon, mate. And I'm sure the listeners out there listening on the podcast are not going to worry about seeing our face. By the way, both Andy and I got a beautiful face for radio. All right, so it really works well. So not a problem, buddy. So welcome.
Yeah, look, and I've got the hairstyle to go with it. I mean, obviously.
I noticed that, and look, mate, I've got the trend happening after getting the new bride, and she's starting to spruce me up a bit. So
yeah, awesome.
Good to have you here. So, folks, just to give you a bit of a brief on Andy, he is, some of the stuff that he's been up, I think he's probably forgotten more than most people know when it comes to Microsoft. But we want to talk today, Andy, about what got you into it. So tell us a little bit about the family life, where you're living, and maybe where how you got started working within Microsoft.
Well, I mean, getting into technology was sort of a fun one because, I grew up on a farm in country WA, and things happen in life, etc. Like my parents decided to go separate ways. Just as I'm starting boarding school, that's a bit of a shock to the system, right? It's like, hey, by the way, son, we're splitting, and you're going over there, 1,000 miles away from us.
Ooh.
Hey. But at that same time, my dad decided that he'd had enough of being a farmer, and of all things, decided to go back and study computer science whilst I'm starting high school. And the funny thing about that particular thing was that most of his peers in his degree, and even some of his lecturers, were closer to my age than his.
Very interesting.
So quite often he would be, at home, and he would be talking about different things, and he's trying to solve problems, and he would use me as a sounding board. I eventually moved in with him rather than board, and so he'd be using me as a sounding board. I knew nothing about what he was talking about, but I slowly picked stuff up, and I got excited about technology. And then once I finished high school, I didn't get into computer science itself. My third choice was mining engineering out in the wonderful Kalgoorlie. So off I go again, 1,000 miles away from home. Started digging holes, blowing stuff up, all of that sort of stuff, which was a lot of fun. But then I got to know the guys in the computer lab and the computer sides and the engineering and the design pieces that go into engineering these massive mine sites and such, like modeling them and all that, and took off from there.
Beautiful. And so I know you've got a family there as well. So where do they fit into this whole IT sort of world, mate? You're out in Kalgoorlie. You're 1,000 miles away from the end of Buttville. All right. So
well, next to a great big hole in the ground. Yes.
Yes, next to a hole in the ground.
Yeah. Look, I went through I myself got married and had 2 kids, and then that sort of dissipated. And then met my current wife, who ironically went to school next door to me, a few years behind. And then we found that we had, connections together. So I got 2 older boys. One of them is a baggage handler at Perth Airport. The other one's fully qualified pilot. And he did that whilst he was still at school, which is kind of proud dad brag moment for a sec.
Yeah.
And then now, going into a career of IT and always being the guy who fixes up other stuff or solves the problem other people can't. And it was always around, especially in enterprise and corporate world, it was always around the Microsoft stack, because that's what most corporates use in Australia.
Yeah.
And pretty much every role I was in, I became the go-to guy. If there was a problem that you couldn't solve, you went to Andy.
Yeah.
If you had something that was too challenging, you didn't know what was going on, you went to Andy. Any project that was not going to plan, you came to me.
Yeah.
But I always got like bored really quickly in these areas. So I'd move around a lot. So I ended up just going into contracting. And then about 10 years ago, I went, you know what? I'm in Western Australia. Everything's tied to mining, and it's pretty much only tech support. I wasn't moving up the tree at all. And so I got an opportunity to take on a senior role inside of Optus here in New South Wales. So I picked the family up with my wife and at the time an 18-month daughter and moved them cross country.
Wow.
And then my son, who was born here as well, he was born here in New South Wales. And so I got, 2 kids on one side of the country and 2 kids on the other. And then just as my son was born, he's now 7, that role, and I was overseeing the entire productization process inside of Optus, a couple hundred products, right? Trying to make sure how they work, how they fit together, how we can monetize them, sell them, and use more of them to help our clients. They went through a restructure, which big organizations do, and I'm out the door.
Yeah.
So like going, well, now what? And that's when I had that idea and that view of saying, well, and I had that look back at what I do and a realization that I'm really good at what I do, but the passion of the models that are used for in the consulting and contracting industry, et cetera, where it's just about, billable hours, billable hours, billable hours, just wasn't there anymore.
Yeah.
What I wanted to do was find a way of helping people with technology and making it so that it's not about the billable hours, it's about the outcome.
Mm.
And that was the time COVID hit.
Yes. And look, we've known each other for a long time, and look, all of us. You say about that COVID hits, and so you're starting your business, you're getting your business on the way, and you're seeing what the problem is. All right, and we've talked about this ourselves a number of times. How you see what a problem is, but how do you shape your business to fit that need? All right, and what I love about you, Andy, is you're about helping. All right, that's the core of who you are. It's not about like the money part of it, and the business part is important, but it wasn't the driver. It was about how do I help? And so you've just gone through a bit of a change of business model, which is most of us do. We can go through a couple of different alliterations. So maybe tell us a little bit about that journey, because I know it caused a little bit of pain for a little while. All
Yeah.
right, but now you've got this new model, and I'm seeing you're excited again, and it's quite good. So tell us a little bit about that journey.
Yeah. Look, as I said, the when I sort of launched the business was going into, just as COVID hit, right? So I had about $300,000 to $400,000 worth of contracts all signed, ready to go. So that's a great way to start a business, right? With that sort of money when it's just you. And then COVID hit and they evaporated overnight. Yeah, that was into the corporate world. And then, for the next 3 months, going around and saying, well, what am I doing to myself? I can't get any more work, etc. And that realization around that the corporate world is very long leads, takes a very long time to get anything moving and action items, etc. And then the next realization was that tools like the Microsoft 365 suite, which I have an immense amount of experience working with, and even the precursor products for 30 odd years, right?
Yeah.
Is now accessible for the smaller market, the solopreneurs, the 10 or 12 people shops, etc. But the platform itself was designed for the enterprise market with people to show you how to use it.
Yeah.
Didn't exist. So, and I'm good at teaching people how to use this stuff and set it up so that they can be successful on it. So that's what I started doing. And then I had a brain fart, and I'm going to say it as a brain fart last year. I'm thinking, no, I'm just going to hone in on this coaching side of things. It's going to be perfect. It's going to work well. And that was where the trouble started, that you alluded to. Customers didn't want to sign up for 12-month programs on an untested idea, a brain fart, basically. They weren't keen on saying, yeah, I can fix your problem, but you've got to sign up for this 12-month program. I don't care. And that was the realization I had over the last 3 months, that they don't care because they've got a nail on their foot. They only care about that problem. It's the only thing that's hurting them. It's the only thing that's giving them the pain. And they don't know me or don't trust me. So the biggest change that I've done was to say, well, people come to me because they have a problem that needs to be solved now. They've tried others, they've tried other vendors. It's either cost them a lot of money, created more problems, or hasn't delivered the outcomes they're expecting. And every time they ring up and contact that person again, they get what I call a shitogram in the mail, which is that unexpected bill.
Yeah.
Back to my previous comment about how do I do this and not have that happen, where it's not chasing the hour, it's chasing the outcome. So now the approach is, okay, so you have this problem. In most cases, it can be fixed within 14 to 30 days. So it's just a 30-day engagement. It's going to cost you X amount of dollars, and I'll work until it's done.
Yeah.
And once that's solved, one, they get to experience me and how I work and how my team work. But then they can see that I actually can do what I say. And through those conversations, we unlock so many more possibilities and conversations that go beyond technology.
Yeah.
And then the question comes, so we solved the problem. You know how I operate. What would you like to do now?
Yeah.
That's an easier conversation.
Way, way easier. And I think what's happened is in our world, overall, I call it the growth of the guru. All right. There's a lot of gurus out there and they're out there selling these big packages. They're doing things, and there's a lot of coaching out there, a lot of business coaches, and a lot of people are educating business owners to get into this monthly recurring revenue and get into that as fast as you can, because that will create a sustainable business. And I remember going back years ago, it was about, find your niche, find the pain point, and solve the pain point. That was a model that was very much talked about perhaps 5 to 7 years, just before COVID. That was quite a prolific path. But during COVID, there's been this shift, and it's happened, not just because of COVID, it's happened just across the globe, where people are going, oh, you've got to get in this monthly recurring revenue. And and we all get stuck in it. I've been there myself, and you go down this rabbit warren of going, okay, a bit of pressure comes on you. You got to keep the money coming in. So, and you start to do things that are what you're hearing are working or supposedly working for other people, but it doesn't necessarily work for you. And I think what I just heard there is a real piece of gold, and that is do what motivates you.
Yeah.
And so
There was one key switch that I did
mm,
as part of that, and this was a mental switch.
mm,
And what I used to find is the meetings, I'd meet lots of really cool people, for partnerships, for business discussions, just getting to know you. They're trying to sell you their wares, all that sort of stuff. And I was spending a lot of time talking to lots and lots of different people, but getting nothing out of it.
yeah,
Doing, it's like sitting in the mud. You got both four wheels engaged and you just got the foot to the floor and you're going nowhere. Right? That's what it felt like. And I thought, well, I've got to get out there and sell more. Oh, well, but that's not true to me. I'm not about the sell. I'm about the help.
yeah,
So I made a commitment to myself that in every conversation I have, every interaction I have with someone else, in the back of my mind, I'm looking for the opportunity where I can offer some value. I can help them in some way.
yes,
And by turning up there where I'm not trying to sell you anything, I'm not trying to buy anything from you, I'm just trying to show up and help.
yeah,
That changed everything.
yes,
Everything about the way people respond to me. And I can always, even if it doesn't end up in we'll ever talk again, there's one little bit of gold that I've dropped and given to people that they go, oh, that unstuck me.
Yes. Yeah. And that's what it is. It's at its core, what you're talking about here, Andy, is relationship. You're
Yeah.
saying to a person, I am here for you through thick and thin, whatever it takes. There might be a cost and it might blow out, you might solve it in 2 weeks or a month, whatever it takes, you are going to do, and you're going to turn up and you're going to achieve what you told them you're going to achieve.
Yep.
That builds credibility. The worst thing we can do in business is tell people, I'm going to give you this, and then it's a 10 out of 10 sort of story. You pitch them and you give them a 5 out of 10 solution. People want you to tell them that you're going to get a 5 out of 10 and you give them a 10 out of 10. That's what it's about.
I had exactly the same thing. I had a little bit of a rough spot over through the Christmas period, and one of the clients that I'd signed and promised within 90 days you'd get blah, I hadn't delivered.
Yeah.
And she still had an invoice to be paid. So I just said, you know what? Cancel. I'm going to void that last invoice. It wasn't a lot of money, so it wasn't a big deal. And I'm going to work with you for another 30 days to make sure this is done.
Yeah.
To deliver that outcome. Because I haven't delivered what I promised I was going to. You haven't got what you wanted.
Yep.
So I'm not done yet. So you're not going to pay that last invoice. I'm going to make sure it's delivered so that you get what you paid for.
Yeah. Beautiful. Customer service.
Integrity, honesty,
integrity.
Doing as you promise.
Yeah. Just do what you promise you're going to do, mate. That's gold. Mate, I'm going to ask you now, what is your one hot tip that you can offer to people that's kept you motivated throughout your business life, or something that will help people to really make a change to that mindset shift?
There was the main one is stop trying to chase the dollar. Stop trying to chase the money. The money will come when you're doing good stuff. So stop trying to chase the dollar. And then look the person in the eye that you're working with and ask yourself, what is their pain and how can I solve it?
Yeah. Really simple. Such a simple, we talk about the KISS principle. Keep it super simple. All right. I just throw it around. Keep it simple, stupid. All right. We quite often get stupid chasing the buck rather than actually building the relationship and doing what you promise you do. Andy finished off with an absolute gold nugget. Maybe working out in Kalgoorlie and stuff like that. It might have been a bit of a coal nugget or whatever it might have been.
Well, Kalgoorlie's gold mining, mate.
It was gold. Oh, mate. Well, that's
I used to work in a gold mining, where they did the pours and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, you get every time you go in and out.
Mate, you've dropped a whole bunch of gold nuggets, brought them across in your mind. The mindset of Kalgoorlie. Been fantastic having you here, buddy. Thank you very much. And folks, look forward to actually seeing Andy again on Tool Time. We're going to be doing some other stuff around. We're going to start taking a bit of a deep dive, not just into who Andy is, but what he does and how he can actually change your life and make sure you get the most out of your Microsoft environment and your IT setup. So until then, Andy, thank you again, mate. We'll catch you very, very soon.
Awesome. Thanks very much. See you guys.
Thanks for joining us here at Hot Seat. It's been an amazing, amazing event. It is a place where you can actually enjoy and be inspired by the why of others, the drive of the purpose and the passion. Please like and share this podcast with as many people as you can to inspire them to make a difference in this world. Have an awesome day. Unleash.